Is it true that capital only runs away when there's fear? While Mango Excellent Media's stock price nearly crashed by half and its market value vanished into thin air, a mysterious new company was quietly established. Are they moving assets, or is this just a strategy to wash their hands of the whole mess? But here's what's even more mind-blowing. Rumor has it that behind Jackson Yee, we aren't just looking at typical financial backing. We're talking about a massive clan with influence stretching back hundreds of years, spanning across politics and business with connections said to reach the very top. The most emotional moment, however, happened in Shanghai. Despite the suffocating surveillance, his face suddenly reappeared on the electronic screens of a subway station. Meanwhile, just for mentioning a concert in a WeChat group, the police were already knocking on an ordinary citizen's door. The truth is still being unearthed, and the power struggle continues. Today, we're going to peel back the layers of this mystery and dive deep into the latest developments. Hi guys, Sean here, and welcome back to Trace Zero. Many of you might be wondering, why are we still digging into the same hole after all this time? The answer is simple, because the dust hasn't truly settled, and the truth doesn't have an expiration date. What we thought was over yesterday turned out to be just the tip of the iceberg of a much darker system. I've purposely taken some time to catch my breath, piece together the scattered fragments of this puzzle, and re-verify every trace left behind. Today, we're going to draw a straight line from the slick tactics of the elite to the untouchable networks that have been hiding in plain sight. Stay tuned, because you never know how deep this hole goes. If we take a breather and look back, the series of events that caused such a stir wasn't just a passing news cycle. Behind all the online noise, there's a quiet movement that's far more dangerous if we aren't careful enough to spot it. For instance, just look at what this media giant has been up to. The mysterious death of Chinese actor Yu Menglong last September ignited a fire that's still burning bright today, an inferno that refuses to be put out. In our previous episode, we talked about how public sentiment dealt a massive blow to the stock market. The parent company of Tianyu Media, the agency representing the late Yu Menglong, is none other than the giant Mango Excellent Media. Their stock price is currently in a free fall. It's been sliding non-stop from a high of 36 inches September to a staggering low of 24. But don't you ever underestimate just how cunning these power players can be. While netizens were busy monitoring the stock market and cheering it on as karma behind the scenes, they were already playing a sophisticated game and drafting a slick new strategy. Not too long ago, some sharp-eyed netizens managed to uncover a massive secret. On September 23rd, less than 2 weeks after the tragedy that befell Yu Menglong, just as public outrage was reaching a boiling point, a new company called Mango Chuangzan was quietly and officially established. Just think about that for a second. Do you really think the timing was just a coincidence? According to data from Tianyancha, the legal representative of this new entity is a man named Chen Hao, with a registered capital of 80 million yuan. The business scope is incredibly broad, covering everything from digital culture management and internet information services to online data processing. And just look at the shareholders: Changsha Maolinshan Investment Development, Mango Excellent Media, and Mango Media. Every single one of them is a core player from the Mango Group family. Any seasoned investor will immediately see what's going on here. It's what we call shedding the skin to keep the profits rolling in. Online, suspicion is mounting. Could this just be a front to move assets? Are they actually panicking, terrified that the Mango Excellent Media brand has become too toxic, or perhaps fearing a massive audit and a total house cleaning? That's why they rushed to create a clean, new vessel, moved their assets there, and kept the party going like nothing ever happened. Tactics like this are nothing new in the capital market. But because it's happening at such a critical moment, this escape hatch strategy only proves that behind their calm facade, they are actually in a state of absolute panic. Even though the authorities have been desperately suppressing this issue, deleting posts and shadow banning vocal accounts, the Candlelight vigils for Yu Menglong across every corner of the country have never truly flickered out. In the early days after his passing, we could still see tribute videos from fans displayed on massive screens in shopping malls across various cities. But lately, you've probably noticed that such sites have become almost impossible to find in mainland China. It's as if everything has just vanished into thin air. The reason? We all know the drill. The higher-ups won't give the green light, and the investors aren't willing to take the risk. But then, just a while ago, a beam of light suddenly pierced through the darkness. This photo is currently going viral. The location is Pengpu Ixingkun Station, Shanghai Metro. Amidst the hustle and bustle of commuters and the suffocating presence of CCTV cameras, Yu Menglong's face suddenly reappeared on the station's giant electronic screen. This sight alone was enough to move many people to tears. In such a high-pressure environment, where everyone is forced into silence and warned to keep their mouths shut, our friends in Shanghai are still using this special way, a silent protest to tell the world. Remember him, because we haven't forgotten, not even for a second. However, as for the exact date this photo was taken, our team is still in the process of verifying it. For the tracers watching right now, if you live in Shanghai or happen to be passing through the metro line toward Xinzhuang, could you do us a favor and check? Is that photo still up there? If it's still there, please let us know in the comments. This information means a lot to us. Now, let's shift our focus across the strait to Taiwan. Over there, tributes in his memory are flourishing and popping up everywhere. It's not just in Taipei, Tainan, or Keelung. Recently, a netizen on Threads shared a touching moment right after stepping out of a train station. In the photo, a massive portrait of Yu Menglong is displayed high on a building. Below his image, there's a very prominent QR code which turns out to be a link to a global petition demanding justice for Yu Menglong. They say time is the best medicine to forget everything, but in Yu Menglong's case, the netizens' resolve is rock solid. They are prepared for a long, drawn-out battle even if it takes years. They will continue to demand that the truth be uncovered in its entirety. Tracers, if you also feel that this issue cannot be allowed to simply slide, please type 3 words in the comments. We don't forget. And if you have the chance to sign the petition, please click the link below this video. Let's stand together and demand justice for Yu Menglong. Now, we're moving into a much deeper and far more sensitive discussion. The domino effect from the Yu Menglong case is still hitting one of the most influential figures at the pinnacle of the entertainment industry, Jackson Yee. Early on, an insider with special connections openly named him as the next target. Netizens then began noticing something was off. His concert decorations looked bizarre, even feeling like some sort of occult ritual or sacrificial offering. But it didn't take long for the tide to turn. A leak surfaced claiming that Jackson Yee has an uncle named Yi Shu. Now, Yi Shu reportedly served as a high-ranking executive at EE Media, the very agency that once managed Yu Menglong. Later, he left to found Lucky Star Media, which went on to sign Qiao Renliang. Netizens have started digging up old videos from that era. At an awards ceremony back in 2010, Qiao Renliang made a shocking public statement. He claimed his biggest enemy was a man named Yi Shu, also known by the stage name Lady Guagua. As it turns out, there was indeed a program titled Lady Guagua at the time, and the producer behind it was none other than Yi Shu himself. To add to that, there's a cryptic sentence Yu Menglong once said during a live stream before he passed away. He said, "Even death can be a form of art." This has sparked widespread speculation online. Could this Yi Shu figure be the mastermind behind a dark, hidden network? But having an uncle who's a celebrity manager doesn't seem enough to explain why Jackson Yee has such incredibly powerful connections and resources. Recently, an article uncovering Jackson Yee's central-level connections went viral. It mentioned that his family roots trace back to Yiyang, Hunan. And let me tell you, the Yi clan in Yiyang is no ordinary family. They are a massive, highly influential clan, not just locally, but on a national level. According to statistics, since the founding of the People's Republic of China, this clan has produced 5 high-ranking officials at the ministerial or gubernatorial level, and over 4,000 family members holding key government positions. When you break down this list, it's honestly terrifying. There's Yi Lianhong, the current party secretary of Zhejiang province. Then there's Yi Huiman, the former chairman of the China Securities Regulatory Commission, who recently fell from grace. There's also the renowned scholar Yi Zhongtian, who is reportedly from the same ancestral line as Jackson Yee. Not to mention the vice political commissioner of the Hunan military district, the mayor of Huaihua, and many more. However, that article seems to have a few inaccuracies when compared to the facts on the ground. According to the official genealogy records of the Yi clan, during the Jiading period of the Southern Song dynasty, their ancestor Zibinggong moved to Qianyang, Hunan. His descendants have flourished there for over 800 years. That's why the Yi people in Qianyang regard Zibinggong as their forefather and identify as part of the Zibinggong family tree. In 1997, Qianyang merged with Hongjiang City. Jackson Yee himself was born in Hongjiang in 2000, so it's safe to say he is a legitimate member of this massive clan. Interestingly, the claims about the clan producing 5 top officials and 4,000 public servants actually align with the profile on the official Zibinggong family account. In that profile, Jackson Yee is specifically highlighted as an outstanding descendant. Even the scholar Yi Zhongtian has been spotted in photos with the clan leader. He's also been a vocal supporter of Jackson Yee's film, Better Days. So, it's highly likely that Yi Zhongtian is indeed part of the Zibinggong clan and maintains a close relationship with Jackson Yee. But there's one thing that doesn't quite fit. Yi Huiman was actually born in Wenzhou, Zhejiang province. So, does he really share a bloodline with the Zibinggong clan? That remains a huge question mark. Truth be told, we don't know exactly how close Jackson Yee is to those 5 high-ranking officials. But one thing is for certain, the privileges and resources he's enjoyed since his debut are incomparable to those of a child from an ordinary family. The most glaring example is the 2022 civil service scandal. Back then, the National Theatre of China opened job applications, and Jackson Yee's name appeared on the list. For ordinary people, the civil service exam is like thousands of soldiers fighting to cross a single narrow wooden bridge. They have to struggle through grueling written exams and multiple rounds of interviews. But him? He was exempted from the written exam and passed through the interview stage alone. This incident truly ignited a fire of public outrage. How on earth could something like this even happen? To make matters worse, the authorities gave an incredibly arrogant response, simply stating, "All questions will be addressed simultaneously later." An attitude like that leaves people with no choice but to suspect that there is indeed a powerful figure pulling the strings behind the scenes. This incident was like stepping on a landmine of public outrage. Everyone asked, on what grounds? But the authorities gave an arrogant response, simply stating, "All questions will be addressed simultaneously later." It's this kind of attitude that makes people suspect there is a massive protective umbrella shielding him. What's even more fascinating is the figure of Yi Shangji. On one hand, he was once dragged to court by a bank just for a few $1,000s in credit card debt. He reportedly didn't even own a house or a car. But on the other hand, in the blink of an eye, he surfaced as a shareholder in a giant company with registered capital, reaching $800 million. Behind this insane flow of money, just how many secrets are being intentionally hidden?
Hey everyone, before we dive into the video, we want to announce that we're launching a brand new segment called Trace Your Story. For this segment, you can send us a real-life story you've experienced, from horror and cheating to crime or any other true story you have. Send us your story at Sean Virell, traceyourstory@gmail.com, using this format. Email subject, Trace Your Story. Story title, Your Title Here. Tell us your experience in as much detail as possible. Feel free to include any supporting photos or evidence if you have them. Optional contact, your WhatsApp number or another way we can reach you for more information. Don't worry, you can absolutely send your story anonymously if you prefer. We'll do our best to create a video and tell your experience. I'm really looking forward to your emails, and who knows, your story might be the very first one featured on Trace Your Story. Don't forget to submit your stories. I'll be waiting and can't wait to read them.
Lastly, let's turn our attention back to Shanghai. Let's talk about the vanishing concert of Japanese diva Ayumi Hamasaki from a few months back. What followed this event is truly heartbreaking and chilling at the same time. Her concert in Shanghai was abruptly canceled at the last minute, yet she insisted on performing anyway, singing her heart out to thousands of empty seats until the very end. At first, It was seen as a touching story of a star's dedication and professionalism. But strangely, the state-run media, the paper, Pengpai News, stepped in and scrambled to release clarifications to deny the whole thing ever happened. They claimed the news about the concert with no audience was a hoax, accusing the circulating videos of being nothing more than leaked footage from a dress rehearsal. But Ayumi Hamasaki herself had already posted the photos, so why would the authorities feel the need to lie? The answer is simple: because they are terrified of the truth. And that fear has now begun to trickle down, haunting ordinary people. Then, just a few days later, a Taiwanese netizen leaked information about a friend of theirs living in mainland China. Can you imagine? Just for chatting about Ayumi Hamasaki's empty concert with two friends in a WeChat group, the police suddenly showed up at his front door. Remember, this wasn't just a phone call. The police stormed straight into his house. Their reason? They said he was running his mouth in the group. The process was just like a census interrogation. They stripped away every bit of his personal information, scrutinizing everything. In the end, this friend was forced to apologize, write a statement of guarantee, ordered to leave the group, and even commanded to delete those two friends from his contacts. After the ordeal, this friend from the mainland could only sigh and say, "If you dare say even one thing they don't like, you'll end up just like me today." I feel that if a society silences the vulnerable, the rights of ordinary people will eventually vanish without a trace. Hearing this, the Taiwanese netizen curiously asked, "So, do you still hope for Taiwan to reunite with China?" His answer was shocking. He said, "From the perspective of national interest, China cannot allow hostile forces to sit right on its doorstep." Look at this, friends. This is the most tragic part. People there have been stripped of their identities and isolated from one another through various surveillance methods. Even when they realize the danger they're in, they remain shackled by the logic of the grand national narrative. This, perhaps, is the true reality for many ordinary people in China today. From Mango Media's attempts to shed its skin to save itself, to the Red Elite family network surfacing behind Jackson Yee, from the photo in the Shanghai metro that stubbornly continues to shine, to the fate of ordinary citizens whose homes are raided just for some casual chatter on WeChat. All the events that have unfolded over the past few months might seem disconnected, but they all point to one singular truth. This is a war between memory and the forced attempt to forget, a struggle of ordinary people against a gargantuan machine of power. All the events that have unfolded over the past few months might seem disconnected, but they all point to one singular truth. This is a war between memory and the forced attempt to forget, a struggle of ordinary people against a gargantuan machine of power. Capitalists can change their names as many times as they want just to keep the profits rolling in, and the police can knock on your door at any moment over a single sentence. They seem omnipotent, so powerful that it's enough to drive anyone to despair. But every boycotted movie ticket, every glimpse of a face on a subway screen, and every single line of text that says "never forget," all of it proves that the human heart and mind are the only things they will never ever be able to control. As long as we still dare to speak, as long as we still care, then in this war, they haven't truly won. Tracers, what are your thoughts on the power of the family clan behind Jackson Yee? And do you believe the photo in the Shanghai metro is a genuine symbol of resistance? Please share your views in the comments below. If you care about these truths as much as I do, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and share it as far as possible. Because every voice that is heard is the most definitive strike against the darkness. If you're still watching this, maybe you're looking for the same thing I am.